I present Mark Spires. Hold on. Okay, now it's good. Mark Spires is an integral part of the Paperback Writers, and he's been a great influence on me with his concept of prose poetry. I was searching for years for that concept, and he helped me out. Here he is with a very good poem called Happy Trails.
Happy Trails.
Yeah.
I long for a simpler time when things seemed so much easier to do, when stuff didn't seem so insurmountable, when athletes smoked between periods of a hockey game, when we didn't have to analyze, sort, rationalize, and intellectualize every little thing in the minutest detail, when we had a common understanding of values shared at least with a significant number of people, when kids had reckless fun, when adults cared for their community, when culture wars and shock and PTSD hadn't arrived yet, when people agreed to fight for their democratic values for themselves and others, when the common consensus was not to let things get to the boiling point and we would do our best to avoid it, when we shook hands in disagreement and didn't raise fists at each other all the time, where we were free to express our values without being the subject of attack by keyboard warriors, where we stood up for our rights and our jobs, be damned if the regulators and bosses and owners tried to restrain us, where to live well was better than to die young in some insane and pointless war, where we even had a modicum of respect for those that came before us, where helicopter parents didn't monitor every move and we were allowed to breathe freely, where things weren't so rigidified and people didn't ghost each other out of yet to be proven allegations, where fear didn't rule us and depression didn't fell so many, when we stood tall and let the wind smack our faces. I miss those days. Or did they ever really happen?
Thank you, Mark. Lauren Freeman just arrived in a few minutes. Well, in our time, in real time, he'll recite a few poems.
I just want to say something about hockey players smoking between periods.
I remember that.
I was referring to Guy Lafleur, who just recently died a few months ago, a Montreal Canadiens hockey player who smoked between periods. I don't advocate smoking. I'm an ex-smoker myself. But the point is, people were more free to do what they wanted to do and take the consequences, whatever it was. And but I remember those days when you were freer to be not as healthy as we are today, but you were freer. You weren't monitoring every little move that you were doing.
Thank you, Lord. I know, Mark, we forgot one thing. Could you show the two covers, and I'll tell you what they're by? The front cover is by my mother, Helen Ansel. It's the only untitled painting she ever did, and it's subjective. Usually she did still lives and portraits. I'll let the reader, the viewer, decide the meaning. And the back cover is by Josie Berkovich, and I think it's a band, and the colors represent the different musics and stuff. Okay, thank you.
Okay.